Welcome to another live stream watch-along reaction. This afternoon, we're watching and reacting to SC Freiburg versus Aston Villa FC, the UEFA Europa League Final 2026. The winner is the Europa League champion, the winner of the UEFA Cup. The loser is the loser. The first of three big European finals over the next week and a half, plus the CONCACAF Champions Cup final. Not this Saturday, but the Saturday after. The summer of football is now just beginning. The summer of trophies is now just beginning. Over the next, 2 months, we're going to see multiple trophies handed out. Of course, we saw the FA Cup handed out on Saturday last week, so sometimes do if Chelsea's in the final, but first time we've done it live, I think. Either way, we're about to begin. Trophy is being handed out. UEFA Cup being put out there before teams walk out. There it is. Villa, Freiburg, the German Bundesliga team. Freiburg, who finished, they might have one game to play in the Bundesliga. I think no, it is just this game in the Europa League that they play. How we doing, son? How we doing? They finished 7th. They're going to the Conference League next year, Freiburg, if they don't win this game. Of course, they'll be in the Champions League next year if they win this game. But if they lose this game, they're going to the Conference League. So that kind of sucks. Aston Villa in the top 5 in the Prem. They're going to the Champions League no matter what. Whether they win this game or not, they're going to the Champions League. They could go as Champions League winners or Europa League winners and top 4. They could also just go hoping the German team can win. Bailey cannot have a European medal, says Son. I knew you were going to say that. Starting 11s are as follows. For Freiburg, in goal, Noah Atebolu. The back 4 of Lucas Kubler, Matthias Ginter. We have Philipp Leinhardt and Philipp True. The midfield 2 of Maximilian Eggstein and Hoffler, Vincenzo Grifo, Johan Manzambi, Jan Beste, and up top, Igor Matanovic. A bunch of people you've barely ever heard of, except for Vincenzo Grifo. I've heard of him before. Serie A, though, or Italian player. He never actually played in Serie A. He's always played in Germany. But Italian player, but other than that, I've barely heard of any of these Freiburg guys. Aston Villa, though, I've heard of all of them. Starting 11, Emiliano Martinez, Emi Martinez in goal. The back 4, Matty Cash, Esri Konsa, Pau Torres, Lucas Digne, Yori Tielemans, Victor Lindelof in the midfield. Are you sure about that? Either way, I thought I might be wrong there. John McGinn, Morgan Rogers, Emi Buendia, and up top, Ollie Watkins. I've heard of all of them. So, if you're going by who have I heard of more, Aston Villa is going to run away with this game. So, we'll see with that. We'll see about that, how that plays out, but still score clear. Yeah, everybody says that. SC Freiburg looking like they're wearing their red jerseys. Aston Villa wearing their white with lavender accents. I guess that's what we're going to say. Oh, that's cool. The Monopoly F1. That looks pretty cool. Legit, I might buy that version. Dunedin Blue Jays throwback jerseys with that era of jersey. That's cool. Starling for Freiburg. Once again, Atabolu in goal. Treo, Lienhart, Ginter, Kubler, Hoffler, Eggestein, Grifo, Manzambi, Beste, and Matanovic. Center ref. Cyril, or that's assistant, Letexier from France. I do like those Villa jerseys, though. I do like those Villa jerseys. The white with the lavender accents, I like that. Of course, they're the away team, so they had to wear something. Freiburg wearing red. Villa, Martinez in goal. Digne, Pau Torres, Konsa, Matty Cash. That is their back four. Tielemans and Lindelof in the midfield. Buendia, Rogers, McGinn, and up top, Ollie Watkins. So, yes, Lindelof is in the midfield. Unai Emery coaching the team. Leon Bailey on the bench. Probably. They're probably going to invade Cuba. I don't think they needed to do that to invade Cuba. You got Prince William there as an Aston Villa fan. He is at the game. Yeah, they didn't need to do that to, they probably didn't need that to invade Cuba. No. And that was 4 years ago. And here we go. Aston Villa pushing everybody forward off the bat. Oh, Lord. Ay. The only stream of the day is this game, and the only review of this game is this game. Only review of the day is this game. Tomorrow we got Liga MX final at 9 p.m. The first leg of it, of course, because there's two. Speaking of, that's another trophy that's being handed out over the next 2 months. We're watching a lot of trophies be handed out, which, I mean, we do every year in the summer, but this summer seems more serious than others because it's a World Cup summer. First ever Summer World Cup on this channel. Of course, because this channel started in 19, so it was the year after World Cup 18, which is Summer World Cup. 22 was a Winter World Cup. I mean, they're a favorite. Why wouldn't they be? But France, ironically enough, I think going in, France are the big favorites. Well, France and Spain are bigger favorites than Argentina. But France right now looks like they're on the best form. And we're off. Throw in for Freiburg, who has done worse in the Bundesliga than Aston Villa did in the Prem. Now, the question being is, will Unai Emery win his sixth Europa League? Fifth, sixth? Either way. Unai Emery is probably about to have more Europa Leagues than most clubs. Now, is that a good thing? Well, it's a trophy. Playing forward. Here comes Aston Villa. Here they go. Shot. What a save. I mean, is that a bad thing? I think the only club that has more Europa Leagues than Unai Emery, whether he wins or loses, is Sevilla. And he won them like 3 of them. So, Do with that what you will. 250. Okay, there we go. 230. There we go. 0-0. That is kind of crazy when you think about it. Here's a shot. Goes in. Shot save. Ollie Watkins could not get the turn. Aston Villa has not won a European trophy since the 60s. Sevilla's won 7 titles. Unai has won 1, 2, 3, 4, and this would be 5. Yeah, I feel like the only club who's won more Europa Leagues than him has been Sevilla, and he won them 3 of them, so. I think the closest club on Europa Leagues is a tie between Tottenham and Juventus and Liverpool. Liverpool won. Atletico Madrid. So, Unai to win his 5th Europa League. Of course, he lost it with Arsenal. So, there you go. If Villa wins. 4 minutes in, throw in for Freiburg. Villa looks like the better team so far, but is anybody surprised? I got a bridge to sell you. If you thought that Villa would not look like the better team in this game, I have a bridge to sell you. I mean, let's just be real. Like, ever since they took away drop backs in the Europa and Conference League, English teams have made the final. Which has only been 2 years, but do with that what you will. Both of these past 2 seasons, Europa League was a all-English final last year. Chelsea made the Conference League final. This year, Crystal Palace made the Conference League final. Aston Villa made the final, and Nottingham Forest was the only English team to get knocked out of a lower competition by another English team. So it shows that the Premier League's disparity, Wolff disparity, is shown against other clubs in these tournaments. And hell, there's even an English team in the Champions League final this year. So of the years of the new formats with the no drop backs to a lower competition, English teams have had 1, 2, in all UEFA competitions, English teams have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 finalists out of 2, 4, 6. Wait, that makes no sense. 2, 4, 6, 12. Basically, 50% of finalists of Europa finals, European finals, in the past 2 years have had an English finalist. Now, of course, the double final, the England versus England final, last year's Europa League changes that, adds that number 6. But basically, as of now in European football, it's a 50-50 shot. There's going to be an English team in a final playing forward. 7 minutes in, 0-0. Konza gets knocked down. That should be a free kick for Villa. God bless the people of Cuba. Great people. They serve as doctors in the Caribbean and Africa and Europe. Cuban doctor helped my grandma when she was at the hospital. Yep. Prayers for Cuba. And yes, Cuban people are good people. Cuba is not what they purport it to be, or they propagandize it to be, so to speak. Playing forward. Over the top. Here comes Villa offside. Foul, free kick for Freiburg. And Ollie Watkins is just trying to throw his weight around. I didn't even know a final was on today. I'm the most anti-Euro snob of anti-Euro snobs, and I even know the Europa League final is on today. Then why are you doing it? Content. How we doing, Dillon? Content. I do it every year. I do every Europa League, Conference League, and Champions League final, even if it's not my forte. Because it's called content. 8 minutes in. Hear about Enzo might come back to WWE? Yeah, I heard. I just read that. He was at the Performance Center recently. At least that's what somebody said. I love it. I'm glad. I can't wait to see Enzo back, if he does come back. It's been a long time. It's been long enough. Off of all that bullshit, I mean, I know he was kind of... He semi-Trevor Bauered himself. He pissed off everybody in the locker room, and I'm sure that didn't help him when all the bullshit happened. So, besides Trevor Bauer, yeah, Enzo Amore got himself blackballed too, because to a lesser extent, he was like a Trevor Bauer type. Only CONCACAF finals. Or Europa or World Cup. World Cup, of course. Intercontinental Cup. Not every final. This is not high on my list. I couldn't be, well, I've never worn a suit for Europa League final or Champions League final. Shot. Or Conference League final. Or Europe. Well, no, Euro final, I wore part of it, but either way. That kind of came with the territory. Either way. Basically, if a CONCACAF team is in the tournament, even if they don't make the final, we'll wear a suit for it. That's how I rationalize the Intercontinental Cup and the Club World Cup. CONCACAF teams were in that tournament. They just didn't make the final. Well, okay, one of them they actually did. That was 2024's. But either way, if a CONCACAF team can make the final, we'll wear a suit for it. Until, for now, a CONCACAF team cannot make a Europa League final unless they ask Messi to play it. It's more likely he'll play Libertadores. Champions Cup, Central American Cup, Caribbean Cup, MLS Cup, Leagues Cup, Gold. Well, I did wear the jacket for the Gold Cup. That kind of counts. Either way. But then the Club World Cup final was like a week later, so I didn't wear the full suit. Well, damn, what does the Gold Cup mean? Playing forward. That was like the first time I wore a jacket for a Gold Cup final, so. It's one I want to, okay? It's one I want to, and I couldn't be arsed today. I've never worn a suit for Europa League, so do with that what you will. Aston Villa is still dominating. Yeah, because they're a Premier League team. Especially against a team like Freiburg, where the freaking starting 11 is a bunch of nobodies. Unless you watch the Bundesliga or you're a Freiburg fan. I don't know any of these guys, but Grifo. Like, when I saw the starting 11, I'm like, and I said this a couple of weeks ago when I was building the stream. I'm like, who the hell are any of these guys? I've never heard of any of these guys except Vincenzo Grifo. That's it. How the hell did you get here? Like, there were better teams on paper than Freiburg. Of, like, people I've heard of. How the hell did you get here? I don't know any of these guys. So, yeah, no, of course. And I'm sure you're the same. Unless you watch Freiburg a lot, which I don't. Again, I'm the biggest anti-Euro snob on the freaking this side of the planet. Ball crossed in, cleared away. I mean, Villa's a lot easier to know who the hell they are. It's Aston Villa, and they're in the Prem. I can only follow so much, guys. 12:22. But I know everybody on Villa. and even on their bench. Freiburg got there for a reason. I mean, yeah, they won their way there. I can't say, let me put it like this. They won their way there. Okay, they deserve to be here. They won their way here, but I don't know any of these guys except Grifo. I don't know any of these guys. It's like, this is the first time I'm watching any of these guys play, but Grifo. That's it. They look like shit. Villa's knocking them around like it's a wonder they're not even scored yet. It's a wonder. But, I mean, are we surprised? Villa's a Prem team with freaking world-class players on the bench. I shouldn't call Leon Bailey a world-class player. Son's going to lose his head. His head's going to be on Mars. But, well. Do you watch regular show? Yes. Well, actually, is he a world-class player, though? I mean, he plays for Jamaica. He is international. But is Leon Bailey a world-class player? I don't know. He never performs for Jamaica. He barely performs for Jamaica. So is he a world-class player, though? I don't know. 0-0. I don't know. Yeah, isn't that the new season, Lost Tapes? Sancho, Bailey, and Abraham. You know what the funny part about that is? Tammy Abraham was on the Aston Villa squad that got promoted to the Premier League on loan. He is now back there, possibly winning a European trophy. What, 7 years later? 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Yeah, 7 years later. Weirdly full circle. And I can't hate. I like Tammy Abraham. I do. Chelsea Cobham product. Played for Chelsea for a while. Arguably is, I think time has made him look a little bit better in ways. He's definitely better than Liam Delap. I wouldn't mind if we brought back Tammy Abraham and just gave Liam Delap to Aston Villa. I would not mind that one bit. But bring back Tammy because Liam Delap is garbage. Swap deal. Money and Liam Delap for Tammy Abraham. Or Liam Delap for money and Tammy Abraham. I'm fine with it. How we doing? No, I'm not angry at all. I prefer Arsenal over Man City, just like I prefer Arsenal over PSG. I don't give a shit. I get Matisse and Lewis lost their minds. I'm not the same way. Now you could say, well, you don't understand, Ryan. Yeah, I'm not from fucking London. Of course I don't understand. And I barely give a shit about the Prem. I don't hate Arsenal. I hate Tottenham. I want Tottenham to get relegated. I understand that. I do like Ange Postecoglou, though. That's the only reason I was happy they won the Europa League that year. Because Ange Postecoglou's a damn baller. Either way. It was I liked him, not Tottenham. There's a difference. Or I like him, not Tottenham. There's a difference. I want Tottenham to get relegated. So I understand that. Arsenal, honestly, we're still a bigger club. I don't give a fuck what the Arsenal fans say. You got your Premier League. You might get your Champions League. We're still a bigger club. Header. We have more Premier Leagues in the Premier League history since it's become the Premier League than you. Still. And we have more Champions Leagues than you, even if you win on Saturday, next Saturday. We have more Club World Cups. We're still a bigger club. Why are we all... Now, I mean, I know Blue Coat's fucking garbage. Now, I can understand being angry about that. Blue Coat's fucking garbage, even though they got Xabi Alonso. Let's see them back him. Got it. I can understand being mad about that, wanting to protest. Got it. But let's not say Chelsea's a smaller club than Arsenal just because they won a Premier League for the first time in 22 years and they might win the Champions League for the first time ever. We're still the bigger club. And they might, if they win the Champions League, they're very likely going to win the Intercontinental Cup in 8 months. Unless, well, Cruz Azul, or my bad, at least unless Toluca pulls through or Tigres pulls through. What about anybody else? I really hope it's Toluca or Tigres. But either way, I have no clue what the hell's going on. I don't know either. How we doing? Because he is awful. I know, I heard him say that. AKA, it's almost the summer and there's like 3 weeks for the World Cup. Might as well go on vacation. He's probably actually going to go on vacation to Marbella or some shit like that. He's just using the Arsenal thing as a joke to build on it because why not? 18th minute before the World Cup starts. I mean, New York's winning as I expected. Cleveland can't throw away a lead like that and think they're going to have a chance to win the series. So, New York in 4, maybe 5. About what I expected. On my own time, yes. Covering it, no. I know, I saw. Nope. They're in a Conference League spot going into the final day, but we're probably going to have to win on the final day to go to the Conference League. It is Sunderland, and we are higher than them. So, show up. I know it's an away game, but if you could beat Tottenham, well, Tottenham is way worse than Sunderland, but Sunderland has a little bit to play for, but we have more to play for. AKA, we might still get Europa League if we win. Cross in, headed away. But very likely be the Conference League. AKA, just fucking win. Whatever you get, you get. Just win. With goal differential, as long as we win, we will get a European tournament. Because I think the teams that are tied with us on points are under us because of goal differential. AKA, win on Sunday, you get a European tournament. Which one? I don't know. It's 50-50. It's either 50-50. It's either going to be conference or Europa. More likely conference, but shit might go our way and we got Europa as well. So, of course, I think with Bournemouth, it's basically 50-50. So we haven't qualified yet, but we got 1 foot in, but we have to win on the weekend. So the point is, now that Arsenal won the league, what I'm looking for is a Chelsea win over Sunderland, West Ham beating Leeds, and Tottenham losing to Everton. Because TKO sucks. If I'm still kicking, yeah. I plan on it. I plan on being here for a 2029 Club World Cup. I plan on being here for the 2030 World Cup. I plan on it. Unless the Pirates called and we're in that tournament, I plan on it. How about that? There's 2 ways it won't happen. The Pirate is called and we're in that tournament, or I mean, you don't know. How will West Ham beat Leeds? Leeds always show up in big games. I think they're going to roll over. Player down hurt for Freiburg. I think the other one's obvious. Either way, I plan on being live for it. In my current situation, I plan on being live for it. But we'll see what happens. We still got a couple of Champions Cups we could win to be in the Club World Cup, right? 27, 28. We got 2 of them, okay. Doable. Do you think Lewis will enjoy Arsenal losing the Champions League or Tottenham getting relegated? I mean, if that both happens, he'll enjoy both, yeah. Free kick for Freiburg, 22nd minute. So far, Aston Villa has been more dominant, but this is a way to scam one if you're Freiburg. Aaron Rodgers will retire after the 2026 season, he announced. Ball crossed in. Excuse me. Projected pots for the Conference League as it stands. Chelsea is pot 1. Of course they are. Number 1 in pot 1. Of course they are. They would get a team from each of their pots. Brock coming back is awesome, says Soccer Guy. Of course, as it works, if they're in the Champions or the Conference League, which I'll do every game again because there's still a little bit of a story to finish, equal out our European trophies. They got 1 team per pot, 3 home, 3 away. You know how this works. As it stands, Freiburg is in our pot. It'd be funny if I have to watch these guys again. About what, 3-4 months later, 5 months later? Either way, depending on when they play the game. If that's the tournament we get. Chelsea, Atalanta, Rangers, Ajax, Freiburg, Monaco. I don't know who I'll... Well, it ain't Gasparini's Atalanta, that's true. I think I'd want Ajax the least. Yeah, I mean, of course, we have to win a play-in round just to get there. But either way, because that's how this tournament works. I mean, we should. It shouldn't be that hard. Atalanta, Rangers, Ajax, Freiburg, Monaco. I want Ajax the least. I feel like that'd be the hardest one in pot 1. Pot 2, Copenhagen, Ferencváros, Victoria Pilsen, PAOK, Red Bull Salzburg, and Karabag. Well, shit, that's harder just because there's Salzburg. Pot 3, Anderlecht, Panathinaikos, Genk, Paphos, Rakow, Czechoslovakia, Jagiellonia, Bialystok. Pot 4, AEK Larnaca, Istanbul, Başakşehir, Getafe, Besiktas, Famalicão, Twente. God, this Conference League sounds harder than the last one. Holy Lord. Boring final. I mean, unless you're Aston Villa fan. You're not wrong. This is starting pretty damn slowly, even though Aston Villa is dominant. Pot 5, Kairat Almaty, Riga, Latvia, Teddy Bluger from Riga, Latvia. Sorry. Hajduk Split from Croatia, Jablonec, OFI Crete, Lillestrøm. I hope Chelsea gets Hajduk. If this is how it stands, I hope Chelsea gets Hajduk. Rio's going to love that one. He's going to love that one, isn't he? Pot 6, Tromsø, Levski Sofia, Thun, St. Gallen, Hammarby, and Sabah. Long Ball FC versus Aston Villa. A bunch of nobodies versus Unai Emery. Where is this going to go? Okay. This Conference League, if Chelsea makes the Conference League, I won't lie. Next year's Conference League looks a lot harder than the one we just won. Jesus Lord. We're cooked. This one might actually be tough. European Cup, the last time. Well, do we count Intertoto? The last time Aston Villa won a European trophy was 1982. The European Cup, 1982, 92, 02, 12. 44 years. 44 years. Holy shit. And they still won one. Either way. I want Unai Emery to win another Europa League just for the memes. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. He doesn't even do that anymore. He actually says evening. I know, but come on now. Good evening. You're lucky I don't make special titles for my videos anymore. Because if Aston Villa won, it would be good evening. Good evening, villains. Or something like that. I don't know. If they lost, bad evening. That's an easy dunk. Yeah, I know. Hell, maybe I'll put it in the thumbnail. I don't care. Maybe I'll put it in the thumbnail anyway. I just put the game score and all that in the title. I don't make special witty titles for the match like I used to. I may put it on the thumbnail either way. What a dunk. What an easy layup. I know, right? Playing forward, Freiburg. So far, it looks to me like Villa's going to win. How dominantly, we'll find out. I don't think it's going to extra time, though. Why do you hate Emi Martinez? Why? Soft. Like, he's a complete shithouse. Why would you hate Emi Martinez? Like, why? Who's the best team in the Premier League right now? Well, I would presume Arsenal. Like, they won the league. If you win the league, you're the best team in the Premier League. 38 games does not lie. If you're in the Champions League final, plus winning a league over 38 games, it does not lie. Winning the league. See, here's the thing about winning the league, especially in Europe. Ball crossed in, header. And I mean, I guess it's the same in MLS, but the schedules aren't even. But either way. They just won the league. He asked the question, who's the best team in the Prem? The team who won the fucking league. City had one job, bro. And they didn't do it. I mean, the team who wins the league is the best team in the league. I've been watching, Ryan. That's why I asked. Well, fair enough. But still. Now we got to hear Saka's better than Messi. Champions League is this month? Yeah, it's next Saturday. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday. Both CONCACAF and UEFA finals. Please tell me it's not actually 3 o'clock. Hold on. Thought Mob, tell me it's not actually 3 o'clock. Please tell me that was just a placeholder. 11 a.m. 6 p.m. Okay, that's doable. That's doable. That's doable. I could wear the regular jersey for the Champions League final and then put on my suit for the CONCACAF Champions Cup final. Let's see here. 11. 2 o'clock if there's extra time. Yeah, that's doable. That's doable. 3 o'clock, 3 hours before. Okay, yeah, that's doable. It's doable. It's doable. Japan, Iceland at 5 a.m. on. Okay. It's doable. Remember someone saying Arsenal are the worst Premier League champions ever. I mean, compared to other Premier League champions, maybe. But they still were the best team in the league this year. And anybody remember Blackburn Rovers exists? I mean, I'm sorry, Blackburn Rovers exists. As long as Blackburn Rovers exists, you can't say anybody in the modern era is the worst Premier League champions ever. Blackburn Rovers exists. You're too young to know how good that was, says somebody. Yeah, and I know how Leicester felt. 33rd minute. Hey, maybe my future kid in like 30 years is going to say, well, look at Leicester. What do you mean? Worst Premier League champions ever. Like Chelsea wins on like 80 points or some shit. And my future kid's like, what do you mean? Look at Leicester. They existed. They're in the freaking non-league now. They're in non-league now. And how did they even win the Prem? At least I can explain how they did. At least I can explain how they did. It was a crazy time. It was a crazy time. Claudio Ranieri is a legend. Jamie Vardy is an absolute nut job, but that man could play football. He also could throw a good party. Wes Morgan, legend. N'Golo Kante, oh yeah, I remember that name. Yeah, Chelsea legend. He had a title with Leicester, yes. And then we bought him. And then he won a title with them. And a Champions League. Legend. But, you know, stuff like that. Corner FC, cannot wait for PSG to dog walk them. I would laugh my ass off if Arsenal won 1-0. They like scammed a corner and just parked the fucking bus. I would laugh my ass off. I'm sorry, I'm not going to twerk for oil clubs. That makes no sense. I can't twerk for oil clubs. Either way. Can't wait for Enzo Maresca to make Man City look like a joke if the 115 doesn't do it before. Hi-oh! 0-0. Hi-oh! Player down hurt for Freiburg. Why are you acting like you're dead? 35th minute. Get up. Get up. Stop acting like you're dead. Hi-oh! Danny Carvajal is inviting the Real Madrid squad and some staff members to a farewell dinner. Arbeloa is not among those invited by the Real Madrid captain. What a shit show. What a shit show. 0-0, free kick for Freiburg. Wow. I mean, all you can do is laugh, really. All you can do is laugh, really. Are you doing the A-League Grand Final? No. You're not even sleeping at that point. I don't even know where to watch it. Playing forward, Aston Villa. Has a shot, blocked away. Shot blocked away. Well, Freiburg gets back quickly. That's a positive for them. That's out for a goal kick. Is it Paramount or is it ESPN? I'm not sure. Old Club Toronto fan talking, by the way. How the fuck are we at Old Club? MLSE. Get your fucking facts straight. Like Toronto, MLSE has deep pockets, but it's not because of oil, it's because of telecom. Because when Bell and Rogers owned it, Because when Bell and Rogers owned it, it was the two biggest telecom companies in Canada. Now that Rogers owns it, it's just the biggest one. Get your fucking facts straight. It's not all, it's telecom. Okay, fair enough. That's true. Yeah, our club is a joke. Yeah, that's true. But hey, at least when we have success, it's not bought. Because they certainly don't want us to succeed. And we don't know how to. And we spend a lot of money. We don't know how to fucking spend it. So unlike Man City or PSG, I mean, MLS, you can't really buy success anyway, but we certainly ain't doing a good job trying. You don't know who the fuck to buy. The only man we bought, where you could say we bought success, we actually did good doing it, was, Sebastian Giovinco. And by the way, Josie Altidore was not for a fee because we gave Sunderland Jermaine Defoe. That's how you buy. So we didn't buy, well, I mean, of course he got a paycheck, but we didn't use a fee to buy Josie. We used a player who we paid the bloody big deal, what, $10 million for? So, I mean, we didn't really pay for Josie. We just paid for the trade chip where we got Josie for. There wasn't even a transfer fee for Josie. We just used Jermaine Defoe to get him. Michael Bradley. Chelsea have more money than Man City. That's all I have to say. Still not an oil club. Roman Abramovich did not make his money off of oil. He made it off of being a Putin sycophant and other things. But when I say oil club, I mean oil state. Using the team to sports wash. Man, NYCFC is an oil club. Even if they can't spend as much money as Man City, they are oil club because they're owned by the same fucking people. Well, what about Gazprom? Well, Roman Abramovich just loved football. And it wasn't exactly just Gazprom. I mean, it was other things in Russia, but either way, you know. Dude was an aristocrat. There's a difference. I mean, Chelsea had a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but and still do. And now it's just idiot Americans running the club. Either way, thank you, Putin. Playing forward. Shot goal! Aston Villa score! What a shot by Youri Tielemans! What is it with him in cup finals? Speaking of Chelsea, what is it with him in cup finals? Youri Tielemans scores the opener in the Europa League final. What a shot! Yeah. Congratulations, McChronicle. I know you're happy. Youri Tielemans scores in a cup final. Again, what is with him in cup finals? Youri Tielemans goal. What a shot. Wow, man. Top of the box. Right there where the ball cuts in. Delightful. Just cuts in, gets to the ball, and volleys that ball in. Delightful. 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 Past the goalie. What's with him in cup finals? Morgan Rogers with the assist. Goal for Tielemans. 42nd minute. 0-1. Awesome goal. That was an awesome goal. Volley. That was effortless. And it got stuck in the back of the net. Like that. That was with authority, my friend. Authority. Shot with authority. Shot with authority. Shot with authority. Mm-hmm. 0-1 Aston Villa right before the half. They've been very dominant. They at least get out of the half with a goal. Well, they do will get out with a goal no matter what, even if they are tied after 45. But 2 goals in 9 matches in the Europa League for Tielemans. Again, what is with him in cup finals? Not that I'm a lot happier with that goal than the FA Cup goal, but you know. Scored the only goal of the 2021 FA Cup final with a long-range strike against Chelsea, the 63rd minute. And just scored a goal for Aston Villa in a cup final. TFC had Auckland FC owners. They would cook. They're running 3 senior teams and balling. Yeah, I know. MLSE, you're idiots. You don't have to tell me. Playing forward. Yeah, you don't have to tell me that MLSE are idiots. Like, I know that already. We probably would be better off with Auckland FC's owners. What's with him and winning goals? Well, if they win, it will be a winning goal. You're right, unless it's like 2-1. Good for you. Does that mean Lee Gunner will say his name instead of 29? Does that mean... I mean, technically, he did score a winning goal to win Arsenal a trophy. I think technically that means he should be called Kai Havertz. Like, 3 minutes. That means Lee Gunner should start saying his name, technically. Like, somebody's got to point that out to him. He should be like, technically, Kai Havertz scored you the winning goal that won you a trophy. I mean, you could also say Junior Krupi did, but, you know, at least for the Arsenal side of things, you know. Lee Gunner said his name on the stream last night. Okay. Well, you know, good for Kai Havertz. He got the winning goal. I'm still calling 93-93, though. So 93 just lost his brother in arms. 93 just lost his brother in arms because Kai Havertz got his name back. See? German discipline. Freiburg don't have it, that's for sure. Corner for Aston Villa, 0-1. So, 93 just lost his brother in arms. Shot! Cleared away. 29 got his name back. Kai Havertz got his name back. 93 lost his brother in arms. So you can get your name back one day. Ain't going to be anything you do for Vegas, but you can get your name back one day. As I said, 93. Score a winning goal at the World Championships or World Cup of Hockey, or winning goal or winning assist at the Olympics, or come back to the Leafs when you're like 40 and then win us a cup, and you'll get your name back. Any of those 3 things. And that's why they invade. Ball crossed in. 2 minutes in. So, 93, you can get your name back by at the World Championships / the World Cup of Hockey. You score the winning goal because that's lower than the Olympics. You score the winning goal or winning assist at the Olympics, or you come back to the Leafs one day and win them a Stanley Cup. You will get your name back. You could be like Kai Havertz and get your name back, but until then you are 93. Till then you are 93 till the If you retire without doing any of those things, you will always be 93. You will never get your name back. But it's possible. Kai Havertz got his name back instead of 29. So, ball crossed in. Header. Yes, guys. Yes, guys. Because the World Cup of Hockey and the World Championships don't mean as much as the Olympics. That's why it's a winning assist. Goal! Goal! Emi Buendia! Emi Buendia with a curler, and it's 2-0 Villa. Oh, my God. Wow. He kind of does have a same build as John McGinn. Either way. Kind of does. And same haircut, too. Emi Buendia scores. What a goal. Unai Emery wins the Europa League again. Good evening. Hey, Arsene Wenger has done it again. He's done it again. He's done it again. Arsene Wenger, he's done it again. Emi Buendia with a cross. How has he done it again this time? I don't know, but somehow it's a lot dumber than the Unai Emery or the Mikel Arteta. Either way. Emi Buendia with a goal, and it's halftime on the stroke of halftime. What a curler, man. 2-0 Villa, and they're running out dominant. You knew this was coming. 45 plus 3, 0-2. Halftime, 0-2. Lewis is going to be like Kane. He's going to hate May 19th now. What happened? I'm praying for Marty, too. What a finish. Wow. Wow. 2 banger goals. All bangers. All bangers from Aston Villa. All bangers. Aston Villa, all bangers. UEFA Europa League, all bangers. They said, we're going to win this trophy, all bangers, boys. Good evening. I don't care. I'm putting good evening in the thumbnail. I don't care. I'm doing it. Also, Ken Hughes is going to speak to the media. I don't know what it is. Still don't know what it is. It must be something serious, but yeah, I'm praying for Marty, too. I'm praying for him, too. Damn. I think Lewis should wear a K-mask, and if anybody says May 19th, take them out. He might do that because he's a wrestling fan. You know what? I'll find it funny. Do it. I don't hate May 19th like him, but you know what? So non-bangers won't count as goals. I mean, the way this game's being played, it might. It might be that. They might have agreed on, you're not going to believe this, but Jovan Jones and Kevin Molino were held with drugs. Apparently both for Quincy Promes. Oh, you got to be fucking kidding me. Oh, my God. Fucking idiot. I don't know what to say. Oh my fucking God. Dude, you've made enough money in your life, both of you. What the fuck? Jeez. What the? Oh my God. $2-0 for Aston Villa. I don't know what to say. Meet the 2026 NHL draft prospect from a Caribbean island without an ice hockey rink. Now, I got to read this before we take a break. Grand Cayman, Jackson Cover. That's pretty cool, actually. Take a short break soon. Wow, 2 banger goals for Aston Villa, and they lead 2-0 at the half, and they're probably going to run away with this game. I'd say 2-0 for them is about right. Oh, there we go. That might be helpful. Marty not at practice for family reasons. That's all I know. Or all we, yeah, there it is. Renaud Lavoie, TVA. Marty lives in Connecticut. Oh, it might just be it. Hopefully it's just a graduation or something like that. Well, that being said, we'll take a short break. We'll be back. Sit tight. 2-0 Villa. And we are back for the stats of the half. We got 42% possession and 58% possession, 3 shots at 9, 1 shot on goal to 3, 126 accurate pass to 185, 80% pass accuracy to 85%, 1 yellow card to 2, 1 corner to 4, 3 shots to 9, 1 shot on goal to 3, 158 pass to 217, 80% pass accuracy to 85, 4 throws to 8, 1 offside to 1, 1 yellow card to 2, 0 red cards to 0, 9 fouls to 8. 0-2 at the half. Villa's been dominant. They've been the better team. Yeah, Freiburg has had a couple of chances against the run of play, being free kicks and whatnot. But yeah, no, Villa is just, they should be winning by more. They were dominant. They started out hot. They scored 2 late goals in the half. I would say 2-0 is about the rifle scoreline. Maybe they should have another goal. But other than that, Aston Villa, I mean, they were the favorite going in. I thought they were the favorite going in. They had the better group of players, and it's showing through. I don't think we have to be surprised. I don't. Oh, that's it. Miami supporters group to protest perceived lack of respect from their own squad. Miami's group, Vice City, has demanded players start acknowledging them on the pitch during games. They didn't hear back, and they threatened not to bring flags and a band. This time we're going to be the child who cries until he gets what he wants: respect, recognition, appreciation. I'm not really sure what to say. Next Wednesday, we got the Conference League final. We got Arsenal, PSG on Saturday. I'll go check it. Hold on. Two national footballers held during an anti-drug operation. 2 national football players were reportedly arrested during a police anti-narcotics operation carried out in Cunupia on Monday. Oduamaha. According to sources, officers conducted an operation at a premises along Boycato Road, Cunupia, where they allegedly discovered quantities of narcotics. The exercise resulted in the arrest of a 35-year-old national team forward and a 34-year-old national defender, 35-year-old Molino, 34-year-old Jovan Jones. Both men are said to be from the Carnage area. Investigators are continuing inquiries into the matter when the quantity of type of narcotics seized have not been officially disclosed by the authorities. The arrest has sent shockwaves through the local football fraternity, as both players are believed to have represented Trinidad at the national level. Huh. And it looks like, yeah, that makes sense. Isn't Aston Villa 4th? They are fourth. Trinidad not playing the place hard. Huh. Yeah, I mean, Aston Villa looks as good as you would think they would in this game. Dominant. Both fools. Molino played in MLS. Jovan in Europe and MLS. What'd they do with their money? They must have pissed it away. I mean, and they weren't getting paid well in Trinidad. I mean, if they didn't piss away their money, why would they run drugs? You only do shit like that when you're desperate. You know you can make a lot of money off of it, and you pissed away the money that you made earlier in your career. And Molino might have less money. I mean, he never was a DP. Played for Minnesota, Columbus. Okay, no, maybe he was in Minnesota, but that was almost half a decade ago at this point. But it's easier to piss away what Molino had compared to Jovan, because he at least went to Europe. And even if he was paid peanuts, that's still a lot in MLS money. So Molino was probably more in trouble than you'd think, as in being in a position to piss away his money. Now, Joven, on the other hand, really, here's my point. We got to teach athletes how to save their money. I think we have to teach athletes how to save their money for when it dries up, because you're not always going to be a top-class athlete. You're always not going to be paid the top-class money. You may not be lucky enough to be a Shaquille O'Neal or a Charles Barkley or a Tom Brady or anybody calling games, or a John Smoltz or Taylor Twellman, for better or for worse. So, or a Tim Howard, or you're not going to be that. So, or a Dax McCarty. So, I mean, matter of fact, Molino just made Champs Cup. No wonder Kaheem left after Defense Force made Champs Cup. Things start to make a little bit more sense with this, doesn't it? Second half about to start. Again, I think we have, I legitimately believe, not every sports player in any sport is going to be able to make more money or make as much money once they retire. We have to teach them how to spend money, or save their money, I should say, or invest instead of buying dumb fucking cars and 20 or 5 houses. And if we just taught athletes how to save money or invest, shit like this wouldn't happen. Because you only do shit like this unless you are just a dumb, or just a criminal, or you're a dumb fuck, or you're desperate. And I would like to think, and I don't know anything about Kevin Molino or Joven Jones, but to me, from what I've seen, how I've seen them as footballers in MLS and the way they act, they seem to me like at least they put up a good mask. I would have to think they were desperate. I would have to think both of them are desperate. Because from what I know about them, from what I've seen from them, the little bit I have, I thought Joven Jones and Kevin Molino were good people. So I can't say they're criminals. So they must have been desperate, and they must have spent a lot of their money and pissed it away. Like, that has to be the answer. From what I know about them. Now, they could have a total double life. This could just be them having a double life that none of us knew about. But I'd like to give them the benefit of the doubt, saying, nah, they probably pissed away their money. And Trinidad's now paying their footballers, and they couldn't cut it in MLS anymore. And they had to do something desperate, and here we are. I'd like to think that's the case. That makes it a little bit better if it does. But from what I know about them, the little bit I know about them, I think they're good guys. So this must be they're desperate, and they had to do what they had to do, and here we are. But again, they need to learn from Dwight York, who owns real estate. Exactly, or get into real estate. Or get into real estate with the money you have. Invest. Well, that's part of investment. Investing in real estate. That's exactly what I think. Exactly. I mean, it has to be, right? .47th minute, 0-2. But I mean, again, we still need to teach these athletes in any sport how to save their money or how to invest. Again, Dwight York, smart man. I mean, he became manager of Trinidad for a while there. But he owns real estate. He invests in real estate. And that's still, no matter where you are, that's still lucrative. No matter what country you live in, it's still lucrative to invest in real estate. Because guess what? People need homes. People need roofs over their heads. You are going to make money. If you invest in real estate, you're going to make money. It doesn't matter where you live. But most likely did not have many options in Trinidad. Money runs out. But I do judge their acts, but also feel for them. I think that's how we all feel. Like, it's shocking that they ran drugs, but it's got to be they pissed away their money earlier in their careers. They didn't know how to save it. They didn't know how to invest it. Not many options now because now they're playing in Trinidad. They're getting older. They can't cut an MLS, and even if they did, they probably get the vet minimum. So, I judge their acts. Yeah, I do too. Like, here's my libertarian take. In my opinion, all drugs should be decriminalized if you're a user. If somebody wants to use drugs, if somebody wants to smoke crack, we should be focused on recovery, not punishing somebody who just wants to smoke it or shoot themselves up, right? Now, if you're going to be a peddler or a trafficker of drugs, that's a totally different thing. Because here's the difference. You're making money off somebody's pain. Whether you're moving it or you're selling it, you're making money off of somebody's pain and somebody's problem. You are hurting somebody. Technically, you are hurting somebody, and you know that. The person taking the drugs, who buys the drugs, who takes the drugs, they're hurting themselves, but they chose to make that decision. But they got the drugs from somebody who knows if they don't know how to do it, or they go too far because they're so addicted, and then adding fentanyl to it. Point is, we should not criminalize the taker. We should focus on their rehabilitation. The trafficker, the seller, we should punish them. That's where the punishment, if you're going to punish for drugs, weed should be legal. Weed should completely be legal, but everything else should be decriminalized if you're using. If you're selling or trafficking, then you should be not in weed. Everything else. Everything else. Weed should be legal completely. Selling, transportation, using, weed is different. That should be completely legal. But cocaine, the person using cocaine shouldn't go to jail. The person selling the cocaine or moving the cocaine should go to jail, you know? Either way. I'm not going to go live for the Rapids game, no. Fucked up on what the Trinidad FA are doing with the money. CONCACAF give them the classic Warner mindset. Yep. 51st minute, 0-2. But that's just my opinion there. Decriminalize all drugs, legalize weed for the user. For the seller and the trafficker, of course, weed should still be legal in that case, but then it wouldn't be trafficking. But everything else, cocaine, speed, 8-ball, meth, you know. Criminalize the trafficker and the seller because you are hurting somebody and you know it. Tomorrow, Liga MX's final first leg, 9 p.m. That's just bad. But I've always said that. You don't criminalize a person who's hurt, who is addicted to something that it's hard to get. Once you get into it, you're screwed. Saved. Like, they're not a criminal. They're a victim. An addict is a victim. They're not the criminal. They are victimized by the criminal, the seller, the trafficker, the mover. You don't punish the person smoking crack. You punish the person selling the crack. It's that simple. You focus on the rehabilitation and the health of the person who was using. Now, but what if they're selling and using at the same time? Well, one, you don't get high off your own supply. Second of all, partially fuck around and find out. Third of all, shop wide. Third of all, again, you're still selling. So you could rehabilitate in jail. How we doing, David? Love that take, Ryan. Just got off work. How we doing, man? 2-0 Aston Villa. Very dominant performance so far. Freiburg's got a big mountain to climb, and I don't really think they will. But either way. Again, weed is that should all be legal. Weed is completely should be legal everywhere. Weed's a different story. Now, I mean, in Canada, it's legal. In most states, it's legal. In Amsterdam, it's legal. Weed is not it's not as destructive as other drugs. And there's a lot of positive benefits to weed as well. I mean, ask glaucoma patients or cancer patients. I mean, it's medicinal for a reason. And that's how it first got legalized, was the medicinal side of things. So legalize weed, decriminalize everything else for the user. The criminal activity is the selling and the trafficking for anything but weed. If you legalize weed, then it doesn't matter. Selling it and sending it, shipping it, But either way. '55th minute. 0-2. Yeah, Villa's so dominant. We're talking about the ethics of weed. There you go. But again, yes, I do judge what Molino and Jones did. Because they are criminals, because they at least trafficked drugs. I don't know if they sold them, but their safe house got ransacked, I guess. So at least trafficking. They are hurting people. They are hurting their own countrymen at the very least. Jovan Jones and Kevin Molino, assumed to be those players, got arrested during a drug raid for having quantities of narcotics in their house. So they must have been trafficking. It was definitely a trafficking amount. But Sun brought it up first. Actually, damn it, I should have left it on the link. Sun? Hey Ryan, gyro or a sub sandwich? Sub sandwich. Especially a Philly cheesesteak. Playing for it. Especially a Philly cheesesteak. Really just Philly cheesesteaks, but either one. I don't smoke weed, no. There was a little bit where I vaped CBD oil. A little bit of time there. A long time ago. But, no, I don't smoke weed. I don't take gummies. I don't smoke weed. I don't do any drugs. Technically, the CBD oil was only the medicinal properties. It's not really a drug, per se. Like, you're not taking the drug part of... Goal for Aston Villa! Morgan Rogers slides in and puts it away. 3-0 Villa. But There was a little bit there, about what, 6.5. I think the last time I had a little CBD vape for like lowering stress. 3-0 Villa. Morgan Rogers slides in, puts it in at the far post. 3-0. Sober living is the way. Yeah. And CBD, technically, that's only the oil that's the medicinal properties. It's not the drug portion. But that was years ago. But I don't drink, except on New Year's Eve, maybe a couple of glasses of Moscato. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. Buendia crosses it into Morgan Rogers. Morgan Rogers with a goal. 3-0. I don't vape. 3 goals in 15 matches. Morgan Rogers with a goal. 59th minute. 0-3. Villa's running away with this one. Come on, we all knew this would happen. They ain't as good as Villa. Yeah. Let it rip. I was expecting more of a fight from Freiburg. Again, I don't know any of these guys. I saw their starting 11. The only guy I know is Grifo. I'm like, how the hell did you get here? I'm like, yeah, Villa's. I don't drink margaritas. No. As I said, I barely. If I drink, it's gonna be like 2 glasses of Moscato, maybe 3 glasses of Moscato on freaking New Year's Eve. That's it. And also the couple of times when I was in high school, they spiked the punch at homecoming. Hey, that was not my fault. I didn't know. But yeah, they definitely. When I was in high school, I think they spiked the punch at homecoming twice. Grade 9 and grade 12. Lienhart and Hoefler out for Freiburg. Of course, they couldn't spike anything at prom because that was catered, and they had like lemonade and shit, and like there were people behind carts just like serving it, so they couldn't spike anything. But I did see a couple people with flasks at prom, my 2 years of prom. But in grade 9 and grade 12, I think they spiked the punch at homecoming because that was made by Stuco behind. Somebody spiked the punch. I know they did in grade 9, but I think they did in grade 12 as well. Grade 11 and grade 10, I don't feel like. Yes. I mean, when you're dancing and getting sweaty in a suit, I mean, you kind of have to drink it, you know. I didn't realize it was spiked until in grade 9. I didn't realize it was spiked until I came home, and there was that WWE Madison Square Garden show the same night. So I told my Nana, "Hey, stay up or something until I come home because I want to watch this show with you." And maybe she woke up, but she came up to the living room and we watched that Madison Square Garden show after I got home from homecoming. And she's like, "Are you tipsy?" I'm like, "No, I don't think so." And that's when I realized, oh, they spiked the punch. That's when I realized, wait, am I though? And that's when I realized, oh, they spiked the punch. Like Nana called me out on that shit. She's like, I'm like, oh, they spiked the punch. That was funny. And then I woke up with a little bit of a headache the next morning. I'm like, yeah, they spiked the fucking punch. I'm like, yeah, they spiked the fucking punch. I'm like, damn it. Damn it. Like, she was right. They spiked that shit. I woke up with a little bit of headache. I'm like, yeah, they spiked that. Because I drank 4 cups, 5 cups maybe. I was like, yeah, they spiked that shit. And I was 15. It was grade 9. Of course, older than most people in my grade. I'm 15, yeah. Like, they spiked that shit. Now, I think the person who spiked it was a grade 11 or grade 12 in Stuco, but They spiked that shit. They spiked that shit. I wasn't as tipsy in grade 12. I think it's because I drank water in between from like the fountain, as I realized. And I don't think they did it all in 10 or 11 because I think they knew. I think somebody knew about it the year before in grade 9 and then the 2 years before that they spiked it. And then they finally got the chance to spike it again in grade 12. So that was a nice bookend, right? That was a nice bookend. It was a nice bookend. I mean, that is hilarious. Good times. Good times. Good times. 0-3, 64th minute. Good times. See, there was no water in between the 5 glasses of punch I had in grade 9, so I think that was part of the problem. And I don't think, did I drink a glass of tea after I got home? I don't know. Maybe I did. I don't remember. It was 11 years ago. I don't remember that. Medicine Hat Tigers. Oh, Brock Lesnar's son. Yeah. Also, Seth Rollins versus John Cena in the steel cage. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget that one either. Cena Rollins in the steel cage. Let's not forget that. Also, Neville. Was Neville versus Chris Jericho a match on that show? I think it was, wasn't it? That was a fun night. Onana on for Lindelof. Yeah. And then 2 weeks later, Cena dropped the title to Del Rio. Yeah, Lesnar was the main event, yeah. But I was remembering the rest of the card. I think Jericho Neville started it. I know Cena versus Rollins was a steel cage match for the U.S. title. Cena was the champion. Lesnar, Big Show. Main event. Because that was back when the WWE Network, they did house shows and they put them on the freaking network mostly because Lesnar was there. And they were going to get their money's worth off of Lesnar's dates, and they put him on a couple of house shows, and they did the Japan one, which that was fun as well. I think I watched that live, actually. It's 5, 6 in the morning. I think I watched that live. MSG, of course, at the time. It was a good show. It was that time where they were trying to they put Lesnar on house shows, but they had to get their money's worth. So they put it on the network and just aired them. So they really weren't house shows, but they had that vibe, of course. I loved, there were lows. There were lows, but 2015 to 2016 was amazing in WWE. Everything, not just NXT. NXT was carrying from 17 to 20 or 19, especially the pay-per-views. 2020, well, okay, no. 15, 16 were amazing years, all of WWE. NXT, Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views, all of it. 17 and 18, NXT pay-per-views were carrying. Sometimes the weekly show, but there was a time where I got tired of the weekly show. NXT was carrying. There were moments on the main roster, but NXT was carrying. 2019 was garbage, except for takeovers. 2019 was garbage. Well, Kofi Mania was good. But Kofi Mania was the only thing on the main roster that was good in 2019. NXT Weekly sucked. The main roster sucked besides Kofi Mania. Takeovers were the thing that was carrying. 2020 just felt weird. It was cool for a while, then it just was weird. It wasn't bad, though. It is where the bloodline began. Drew McIntyre did his best as WWE champion. 21 was a good year. 22 to 24 was like WWE's peak under TKO, and now it's started to suck. I guess WrestleMania 41 was the end of the peak, and now it's really just sucked. Like TKO's just, and John did his best, I think, with his retirement tour, and they screwed him over. But John made the best out of it. But after John, like, he was the only thing that I cared about. But WWE and Punk at Mania versus Roman, that was good. But there's right now WWE has just lost its soul in general, and I'm not happy with it right now. Like, if Danhausen's the best thing about your show, I love Danhausen. I love that Danhausen, but that's fucked. I'm sorry. Especially now that Punk is off, AJ's off, Cena's retired. The best thing about your show is Danhausen. No, Roman bringing back the bloodline has not caught fire. No, you can't make lightning strike twice. And Roman's becoming a gasline motherfucker again to the Usos. And, hey, he's facing Jacob now. You can't make lightning strike twice. Yeah, I'm doing the Haiti games. Basically, now that Punk's off, AJ's off, Cena's retired, I'm glad Paige is back, but she's kind of shaky a little bit right now, I'm not going to lie. I'm happy to see Paige back, though. I'm happy. Substitution, 70th minute, 3-0 Aston Villa. The best thing about your show is Danhausen. I love that Danhausen, but you fucked up. Let's be real. If the best thing about your show is a comedy act that is hilarious, don't get me wrong. I love that Danhausen. You fucked up. I can't say much. I mean, NXT, Shawn Michaels is doing a good job booking NXT, even with losing some of his biggest stars. Mason Rook looks awesome. The women's division is still on fire because NXT always has an amazing women's division. It's always been their thing. I mean, come on. You know, NXT, we might be at a point where if NXT really catches fire, we might be at a point where NXT is carrying again. We were almost there, but then, of course, you know, they called up everybody. Shawn's doing the best of what he has, though, and Mason Rook might just be that guy. I see why John loves him. I do. John Cena's a big fan of him. I could see why. I think Mason Rook, he's got something. Two substitutions for Freiburg. Mason Rook's got some. Kubler and Grifo out for Makengo and Sherhan. American wrestlers are really falling off. I mean, that's what happens when WWE tries to sign all these failed football players and shit. They really don't care about the business. You think Braun Breaker would be wrestling somewhere else if he wasn't in WWE? Like, I know his father's Rick Steiner, but you really think he'd be in AEW? Do you really think Braun Breaker, and I know he's a bad example because his dad is Rick Steiner, but The difference between the Steiner brothers and Braun, to me, is that he's like, oh, WWE wants me, and I'm not really doing well at football. I'm gonna try that. Now of course he's established enough that he might be, you know what, might as well. Do I still think he's gonna work a damn high school gym if he got released? Which would he? Probably not, but you don't know with T-Hale. Especially now with Obafemi and Gunther. I mean, he might be in trouble. But either way, a lot of these like failed football players, gridiron, and baseball, well, not really baseball, wrestlers, do they really care about the business? And I'm not saying indie darlings are the answer, but you could tell who's there just to try to get their name up. And you could tell who's there because they actually love the business. And it might not be exactly what they plan to do, but they'll make the best out of it. Trick Williams, for example. Trick Williams, did he want to be a football player? Yes. Do I think he loved wrestling back in the day when he was a kid, and he's like, you know what? I didn't make it in football, but I'm going to make some out of this. And he does his best to do that, and he's got a gift. Yeah. I don't think he's there to build up his name. I don't think he's there to try to get to Hollywood I think he's there because he does love wrestling. It ain't football, but it's something he did grow up loving. And I think he's gifted with talent. And he was one of those NIL guys who were a failed football player and he becomes a star. But you could tell he wants to be there. I believe he wants to be there. Playing for his Aston Villa. There are people Jade Cargill is not one of those NIL people. Here's a chance. Shot Buendia off the side of the net. Yeah, he's no HBK. For me, Jade Cargill, she's not an NIL person. But Jade Cargill wants just to get to Hollywood. She used AEW to get her name big enough to go to WWE, and she's going to use WWE to get her name big enough to go to Hollywood. Tiffany Stratton, probably the same. So I could do this both ways. I still think Tiffany Stratton's better in the ring than Jade Cargill. Lash Legend is what they think Jade Cargill is. Lash Legend is what they want Jade Cargill to be. Jade Cargill is green as fuck. At least Tiffany Stratton, even though she might be using WWE to get her name up to go to Hollywood, at least she's good in the ring. Jade, she's green. She's still green as all hell, and she's been wrestling for what, 5 years? Lash Legend is what they think Jade is. Lash Legend is so much better. I'm just saying. Lash Legend went to Mississippi State and played for State's women's basketball team. Yeah. I always want her to succeed. You're right. Yeah, she's a Mississippi State legend. Women's basketball. I always want her to succeed, but she's awesome. She's done, I gotta say, Lash Legend, she's done so much better in WWE than I think she ever would have done in the WNBA. I'm not saying she was a bad basketball player. She was on a freaking national champion or national runner-up squad. But she's just a natural. She's just a natural in ring and character-wise. I mean, I'm so glad. Like, I would have been a fan of her if she didn't play for Mississippi State. But knowing she went from Mississippi State to being in the WWE, I'm like, yeah, I want her to succeed. I mean, I'm only wearing this because it's claret, but, you know, if you're a Villa fan, it's your maroon. But it's all I have. But this makes a point. Either way, I try my best when I have to match the colors. Seven corners to one. Either way. I'm going to say it. Lash Legend is better than Jade Cargill. Cry about it. Shot save. I wish Jade Cargill would just fuck off to Hollywood. Go be Storm and X-Men. Because, I mean, she's definitely got a presence. She can't wrestle, though. That just shows you she doesn't care. Like, yeah, she's got a damn... Like, she's got a presence, and her look is amazing. She's fucking shit in the ring. Like, her ring psychology is utter ass. Like, I'm surprised Rhea Ripley carried her to about, what, a 3.5-star match? And I think Rhea's awesome, but, that just says more about Rhea Ripley than it does Jade Cargill. It just does. It just does. I mean, if you notice, that's kind of what she's doing already with her gimmick. But either way, it's obvious what she's angling for, but okay. It's obvious what she's angling for, but okay. Yeah, Rhea Ripley carried Jade Cargill to a 3.5-star match at WrestleMania, and you know what? That just says more about Rhea than Jade. It's funny how the best wrestler in Jade Cargill's faction is Mia Yim. And she's a goon! What are we doing? Mia Yim is the best wrestler in Jade Cargill's faction, and they made Mia Yim a goon. What? Are you kidding me? Like, B-Fab sucks ass too, let's be real. I don't know why she's there. But at least she could be a goon because she's garbage. Jade is garbage. Mia Yim is the best wrestler in that group, and she's the fucking goon. What are we doing? What are we doing? I don't get it. Yeah, that's how boring this match is. I've not seen Jade in WWE yet, so I don't know. She's garbage. She was green in AEW too. What? I kind of blame WWE for that, Hal, so. Showcase her strengths and not overexpose her weaknesses. Okay, yeah, maybe WWE's doing more of accidentally overexposing her weaknesses. AEW at least showed her strengths and not really showed her weaknesses, but WWE, well, if you're going to be a WWE champion, you should be able to wrestle like a WWE champion, a world champion, on either side of the coin. You're going to have longer matches. It is what it is. It is what it is. And at least she was more like Goldberg at that time. Okay, fair enough. But she was more like Goldberg at the time. Goldberg is green as fuck. He always was. Goldberg never got better. Let's be real. So yeah, Jade's like the female Goldberg. But unlike Goldberg, at least Vince had the sense, and Eric Bischoff had the sense, and even since Goldberg got old, Triple H had the sense not to have him go longer than 5 fucking minutes. Whether he's winning or losing. Spear, jackhammer, get the fuck out of there. Goldberg that was all maybe a couple of suplexes, but you're nervous for tomorrow? I don't blame you. 82 minutes, 0-3. No, Rhea did. Jade was the champion going into WrestleMania. But yeah, you're right. Jade should be used like Goldberg. At least until she's, or be carried by somebody like Rhea. Which, that's what happened. Or Io Sky. Or, right. Which Jade actually said good things about wrestling Io Sky. So you know what? Fair enough. Fair enough. But, you know, she should be, if she's not wrestling women like them, she should be used like Goldberg, especially if she's going to win. Yeah. Short matches, squash people. You know, do with that what you will. 4. Header shot saved by Emmy Martinez. Goldberg versus Kevin Owens at Fastlane was horse shit, and Goldberg beating Fiend was bullshit. But goodness, what do you guys think of Goldberg versus Lesnar Survivor Series booking? That Survivor Series was fun. That Survivor Series match, or the way they went with it, Brock got knocked, lost in like a minute, under a minute, 45 seconds, spear jackhammer, Goldberg wins. That was awesome. But that's how you should do it. Either Brock should have beat the hell out of Goldberg and beat him within 5 minutes, or Goldberg wins like that. That's the way you book Goldberg. That's all the way he was always booked. Because Goldberg was never a good wrestler. He never could have a 30-minute epic that was a good match. Even if he had somebody next to him that could carry him for 30 minutes, it's like Jade and Rhea. It's going to be a 3.5 star match, which for them is amazing, but it ain't because of you. It's because the person around you carried you. But no, Goldberg is in and out guy. Whether he wins or loses, he's in and out. And it makes it better because if you beat Goldberg, you beat the shit out of him, you beat him quickly, that's going to really put you over. If you lose quickly, you probably never were going to beat him anyway. And if you get buried, well, so be it. But either way. But yeah, Kevin Owens and Fiend were horse shit. Villa fans will invade the pitch. Hard supporters will request a replay or forfeit. Love football. Yeah. Yeah, I gotta say. I mean, you just take your L, Hearts. Like, I know everybody wanted you to win the Scottish Prem, except Celtic fans. Well, most Celtic fans. But take your L. Y'all blew the game. Y'all had one game to win. I know it was against Celtic, and I know the way we got there was a little bit controversial. You really thought they wouldn't get Celtic with a chance on the final day if they had any say to do it. But either way, take your L. You lost. You bottled it. Straight up. You had all the chances in the world to put it away, and you bottled it. Stop complaining. I know it was still a miracle season. Lindy Ruff just signed a 2-year contract extension. Keith is staying with the Devils. Hearts and CF Montreal of Scotland. Well, shit, now you make me happy they lost. Now you're making me happy they lost. Should have said that before the match started. I mean, I'm glad Celtic won the league, but now you're making me not feel bad for him at all. Douglas Luiz and Tyrone Mings coming on for Tielemans and Pau Torres. What a dominant win for Aston Villa. Well, it is going to be a dominant win. Keep the clean sheet. Southampton lose their appeal to be reinstated to the championship playoff final. Personally, I want Hull to go to the Prem. Playing forward. 88th minute. How much stoppage time? Playing forward. Huh. Minutes away from being a Europa League champion. Aston Villa. "44 years from winning a trophy, or European trophy. 44 years. And they're about to end their 44-year drought of European trophies. Aston Villa. What a game. What a game. Unai Emery is him. Unai Emery is him. Unless you count the Intertoto Cup, which... yeah, it probably is. But call the Pirate. Let's test that theory. Call the Pirate. Test that theory. Call the Pirate. Boom. But, yep, 44 years for Villa, unless you count the Intertoto Cup, which who does? That was a damn cross-in header. The Intertoto Cup was a damn certificate you get out of a cereal box. Headed away. Does it count? And it really only qualified for what, the UEFA Cup? One that played like during the preseasons and shit. Communist Manifesto. Karl Marx. Communist Manifesto. One minute of stoppage time. Seconds to go. Aston Villa. And it's full time. Aston Villa are the Europa League champions. It's a good evening in Birmingham. Aston Villa have won their first European trophy in 44 years. Unai Emery has won another Europa League. The legend of the Europa League. For Unai Emery and Aston Villa. 3-0 for the Villains. Ozzy Osbourne is smiling in the great beyond. Wherever he might be. Anything happen on the pitch? I don't see fans on the pitch yet. 44 years without a European trophy, and one's going back to Birmingham. The UEFA Cup, the Europa League, the UEFA Cup. 3-0. Buendia, Rogers, Tielemans. Tielemans with a cup-winning goal. Buendia and Rogers put more on top just for fun. Good evening. Good evening. Wow, what a dominant win. The Claret and Blue, Aston Villa, already in the Champions League because they finished top 4, but you might as well win a trophy while you're there. I'm about to do the review. Damn. Dominant, dominant, dominant. Freiburg had no chance at all. They had no chance in hell. Freiburg had no chance in hell at all. Dominant. Dominant, dominant, dominant. Champions of the Europa League. And it's right there on Wikipedia instantly. Boom. There you go. Yes, Aston Villa have done it. Emi Martinez is going into the crowd. Ah, man, that man is awesome. Emi Martinez, the GOAT. The GOAT! So we have Aston Villa in the Super Cup in August. Palace next, Rio Cardines. Probably. So will it be Arsenal or PSG? We'll find that one out next Saturday. Will we have an all-English Super Cup? Or will PSG probably destroy Aston Villa? Or will Unai Emery get revenge on his former club? You know, because he coached PSG before. Don't forget about that. Either way. But we find that out later. We'll watch the Super Cup when it comes around in August. With that being said, if you like this stream, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell your friends. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification. Hit that hype button to put this up in the algorithm. Hit that join button to send this or become a member. Send chats on the live streams. Comment on this video. Put this in playlist. Share with friends and family. All that great stuff. Aston Villa have won the Europa League. Another English champion. Back-to-back. Villa have done it. With that being said, congratulations. Felicidades, Aston Villa. Commiserations to Freiburg, even though they never even tried. I will see you within the hour for the review of this match. I'm Ron and I'm out. Peace. Damn, what a game. Well, not really, but dominant. Peace.